Morning. It's Tuesday, November 21st. Welcome to Story Trading VIP Pre-Market Prep. We've extended the show last few days through 10 a.m., which I don't know about you, but I think it's been working brilliantly. So what we do is we take our top picks, our top focus picks from the pre-market, which we analyze from perspective of sentiment, catalysts, technicals, and fundamentals. And then we might make some adjustments to that between 9:30 and 10 a.m. in terms of what the focus list looks like for the rest of the day. Now we're doing a quick mini free preview for Twitter, folks. If you're watching on Twitter, you can see us now, but we're going to cut off the stream shortly before 9:30, probably about 9:20 or 9:25 a.m. So if you want to get the full show through 10 a.m., you'll have to download our app at storytrading.com/app. Storytrading.com/app. You can do that right now while you're watching this show. Actually, hold on. Let me throw the banner up there for that. All right, here we go. All right, so go to storytrading.com/app, and then we'll be shutting this off and just be for VIPs through our app until 10 a.m. We had a bunch of earnings this morning, and we already put in the chat room that ANF, Abercrombie & Fitch, looks like the best one out of the ones we've been looking at, which is DICK'S, Baidu, Zoom, and ANF. And it's been going up since we gave you that alert. So let's take a look at this. We'll dig into the numbers of the report in just a second, but we did tell you in the chat over here that ANF looks like it could be a buying opportunity. It appears to be down after a beat and raise. Can't find anything derogatory. ANF has exploded recently, so this was expected. So this probably the price explaining the price action probably was expected to sell the news, but valuation still seems cheap. So it could be the buy the dip with the right time frame. And then just a few minutes ago, ANF I think looks the best, at least fundamentally. So out of those four picks, ANF is getting the biggest rebound here in pre-market. So let's quickly talk about why. Actually, quick look at the macro. Okay, macro, QQQ, SPY, nothing alarming. You see NASDAQ down 0.5%, IWM down 0.7%, gold up 1%. We'll look at that in a bit. But okay, now going to specific category. ANF keeps on rising, now only down 3.86%. It was down like 5 or 6%. So what happened here? They had a massive beat on EPS. So I don't know what was in there that they beat by so much, because they beat by 76 cents. It was like $1.11 versus $1.83. When you beat by that much, there's usually some like one-time items and stuff like that. So I'm not gonna come in here and say, oh my gosh, the stock needs to go up 30%. That's not gonna happen. Okay, revenue was also a slight beat by only $77 million, but they also raised their revenue forecast from a growth of 10%, and they raised it to a growth of 12 to 14%. Sees full year 2023 net income. So that's pretty good implications for what's going to happen in Q4. That's full year 2023, not 2024. So they raised their forecast from 10% to 12 to 14%. So they beat nicely on EPS, they beat on revenue, and they've increased their revenue guide. So it looks like a good report. And look, as it keeps on going up now, down 3.5. It's just been up so much. Look at this. For the year, it's up like 250% going into this report. So there must have been data. People knew that they were going to have a good quarter. So this thing's just exploded. I think that's why it didn't, run more and gap up. So a little bit tricky to play this. Also from a time frame perspective, I will say, I think, and we covered this last quarter, by the way, ANF had great earnings last quarter, and we suggested that it could be a long-term buy then. Look at that. That was the earnings report. This is a really cheap company. If you look at the forward PE, it's a forward PE of 15. So regarding the time frame, we'll have to see how the price action looks to see, is this going to be a good day trade or what? So far, it has been. If you picked up the pre-market alert we gave you, but I like to think of these things more from a swing to intermediate term perspective. But then sometimes you get lucky. You get that move immediately in one day. That's basically how it's been working at story trading. So in any case, let's look at the technicals here on ANF, see what we can find. I didn't check the news to see why it pumped like this yesterday. Maybe there was an analyst upgrade yesterday morning. Okay, so this was a key level here at 67.90. It's back above it here at 69.50. You see that? That's the low from the other morning. So once it went back over that low from the other morning, that triggered a bigger move here to 69.75. Let's go back. Let's look at the daily chart now. All right, let's look at the daily chart here. We're well above the 20. Okay, 20 DMA, 65.46. I was going to suggest this morning that would be a great place to buy, but it never got there. So I was monitoring it to see if it would get closer to there. I was at 67. And if it did drop towards 66, 65, I would have mentioned that to you guys that would have been great support at 65.46. But at this point, doesn't look like it's going to pull back all the way to that 20 DMA support. As far as candle supports, look at this. This used to be resistance here for a few days right there. You see these three candles? And then it became support. And this is a key level. Look at that. What is that? 68. Wow. Beautiful level. 68. 68. You see it so clearly, right? For 3 days, it was a resistance. And then it became support on these two candles. And it just took off from there. So 68 also a very nice support level. Where did it go to this morning? 67.10. Briefly went below 68 and reclaimed it. So ANF, I think I like best out of all the ERs this morning, but there's some other ERs to look at. DIX beat by about 16% for the quarter, and the stock's up 7.5%. The problem is they also raised. They beat and raised, but they raised the same exact amount they beat by. Okay, so they weren't willing to come out and predict a beat in this quarter in Q4. They weren't willing to. It looks like it. The headlines look like it, a beat and raise. But really, when you back out what they just beat by in Q3, they didn't really raise Q4. So I would be, this is not one where I would do the re-rating math, if you're familiar with, in terms of how much did they beat by, and then we'll expect something close to that move, like 16%. Would we get 16%? It's up 7.5%. Oh my gosh, it's up 16. No, it can go up 16%. I wouldn't say that here because they didn't really raise the guidance. Okay, so let's look at the chart and try to triangulate at up 7%. What kind of room we have here? It looks like that 200-day moving average at 126. 126.21 looks like that's going to be a key level. What's it doing here in pre-market? Let's see. So some folks got excited by that 16% beat, and I think other folks realized that, hey, wait a second, for the next quarter, they didn't really raise. So that's why you see that pullback. So you got support here at that 200 DMA, 126.16, and that's going to be a key level to watch. 126.21, I'm sorry. That's going to be a key level to watch. Also, we're in this gap. Wow, this is interesting. Yesterday, 115.87. What was the close yesterday? Okay, so it went into the gap in the last few days. It actually went into this gap just the last few days, and now jumping over there, the 200 DMA. So now we're in this massive gap. But the next level I see after the 200 DMA are these support candles right here at about 128 or so. We're there right now, aren't we? Okay, so it's at that 128 resistance, which used to be these support candles for a couple months before it took off to 148. So your key levels here is that 200 DMA, the 126. Then you have this 128. Just out of curiosity, let's see what would happen if the market decided to reward it. 119 times 16%. It'll be 138, which would take you right up to this area over here. 130, which is also a key technical area. Used to be resistance, and that's where it took off from. Then was kind of like support right there, 138. So those are your levels to look at: the 200 DMA, this area, and then up there at 138. All possibly in play, but I'm not going to chase this because they did not increase their guide. Okay, they did, but they didn't. Okay, so after looking at those two, I feel a little bit safer with ANF still. Then we have Baidu, which is a little bit tricky. Oh, it's actually down. I'm glad I said it's a little bit tricky. So Baidu in the app here, we put in the numbers. Oh man, the image issue again. We got to fix this when I upload the images. All right, so what I got to do is go to my photos. Hopefully there's nothing too private here. Okay, let's see. Where are we going to find Baidu? What is that? That's a video. What is going on? Here it is. Okay, Baidu. All right, here's the data on Baidu that I put in the chat, but okay, we got to fix that problem with the images loading. So Baidu had really nice numbers. Look at this. Revenue, EPS, everything, like pretty large beats. And if you also look at the forward PE, it looks like pretty cheap. Okay, but from my recollection, they also had a quarter like this last quarter. We'll look at the chart. But this is a concern for me. Monthly active users, 663 million versus 673 million. Now, this is just my experience and my muscle memory. Again, I could be wrong. But my muscle memory is that monthly active users is more important of a metric than any financial metric when it comes to these e-commerce and social media companies. I think Baidu is like a eBay of China, if I'm not mistaken. I don't know it too well. So I avoided Baidu because of that. Man, I'm glad I didn't. I caught that for you because that was a pretty big beat on EPS. 280 versus 232, right? EPS, that's big. And look, the market is actually really looking at that monthly active user. So Baidu, I think I'm just going to avoid that. Zoom also. Zoom, I think they beat and raised, but I went through the commentary last night and I just see a lot of commentary worried about growth. Like, is this really a growth company or a value company? And you see it, growth issues, all the headlines, all the analysts, we're kind of not sure this is a growth company. So I'm like, okay, we're not going to really make Zoom a focus for a show either. Out of curiosity, let's look. They did have a beat and raise. It's down 3%. Wow, 3%. 200 DMA is up there at 68. It's even below the 50 DMA at 60.43. Really not interested. Okay. So cool. I'm glad we avoided Baidu and Zoom. So Dix, did I go through the technicals on Dix? I think I did. Okay. Yeah. So Dix, there's something there, right? Dix was a good report. So let me go back to Dix. Dix was a great report. If you went through it and look at the financials, look at the commentary, it was that basically they're just being cautious in terms of guidance. They're like, we're keeping the macroeconomic situation in perspective, whatever. So we're tempering our expectations. It was something like that, right? But just looking at the raw numbers and this PE of 10, Dix was a good report. So I think we're going to keep Dix in the top focus list. Again, we just got to be careful about the price action in these levels because it's right at resistance levels right now, 126 and 128. Okay, so Dix, I think, is going to make it into our top focus list along with ANF. Okay, so now let's go to our top focus list. So I put ANF and Dix there. We're going to remove Baidu. Okay. You know what? I don't want to completely remove Baidu from this list. I just didn't want it at the top. Let me just put it back in there so I can get the news releases on it in the future. Okay. So let's go and move it out of the way. Okay. All right. So Baidu's out of the way. Okay. So now going back to our top picks. We got ANF in there. We got Dix in there. Enphase, I want to bring to your attention because there's some catalysts here. Enphase had another insider buy. If you remember, this first came to our attention. Man, I don't know when it was exactly. It was a few months ago when there was a massive insider buy, like millions of dollars worth, and stock moved for a couple days, but then it completely failed, and the whole sector just imploded, despite the massive insider buy. It looks like that. I think the same guy, CEO, bought another 100,000, not huge, bought 100,000 shares on November 16th. Okay, but put that insider buy in perspective with the market now. That's at least temporarily good for risk assets. Put in perspective of this chart that broke the 20 DMA, and let's put it in perspective with Ms. Yu this morning announces a price target of $131. So you got multiple pillars at work. That's how we do it. Story trading. We don't only look at technicals. We give ourselves an advantage by assessing catalyst fundamentals and sentiment to predict what the technicals are going to do. So that's what we try to do here. So take a look at end phase. You see this candle? Let's just take a look at this gap. That's 103.9 of 100. You also have the 50-day moving average here of 105.71. The other day, what's the high here? 98.42. We're right there now. And yesterday's high, 98.78. Okay, we're right kind of in this area. I think this needs to be on watch for a possible move to the 50 DMA. 106. Okay, 105.71. I'm sorry, 105.71. Actually, the top of this gap maybe is a better place. It might move there. 103.98. So this 50 might move down to 103.98, for example, by tomorrow. All right. So maybe 103.98 will be a little more conservative. Is the upside target on end phase, but it's got to break yesterday's high and the high from this at 98.42, 98.78. We got to break 98.78 in the regular hours. It did it this morning, actually, I believe. Let's zoom in, take a look at this. So yeah, it was above it. So 98.78, that's going to be your level. Actually, let me write that down. 98.78, that's the level of break. And then after that, I'm going to give you a target of 103.98. That's on end phase. And it's not just technicals, it's insider buy, it's the analyst price target. Okay. So end phase is going to be the top of our focus list. And of course, we're going to look for continuation in AMAT and CRISPR. AMAT and CRISPR, we've been totally on top of this with perfect predictions the last couple of days. After the earnings, we talked about what caused it to go down. We talked about the fundamentals and basically almost predicted this chart. Yesterday, we gave you a price target of 152 to 155. It went right into that range yesterday when the thing was like in the on a break of 150, especially when the thing was below 150. Said if it breaks 150, 152 to 155 is what we're looking for. So perfect prediction on AMAT. Applied Materials yesterday. The fundamentals look great on this thing. It's cheap. They beat guidance. I think it was by like 12%. If it wasn't for the criminal probe, this thing would be already above 164.36. It'd probably be heading towards 175. So AMAT continues to be on the list for possible continuation. Let's just look at it closer at the technicals for the day. Let's see here. Yeah, okay. So, wow, look at how it got rejected. Did it really spike to 154 yesterday? 153.90. Oh, no, that was this morning. Okay, great. And that is a perfect resistance level. Okay, because that was a support the other day right here. It was right around 154 and it proved it in pre-market. Let me just double check. Was that a... Hold on. I wonder how many shares that was not really significant, but in any case, 154 I think is going to be the upside. That's a resistance area on AMAT. Now, is it going to do 3 days in a row? I mean, I don't know. It's in the top focus list. We'll watch the price action, but now we're getting a little further away from the catalyst. I still liked it yesterday. It was in our top 5 for sure yesterday because the catalyst was Friday. We're only 1 day removed. Now we're 2 days removed. Are we going to see another big move on AMAT today? I think it becomes less likely as you get further away from the catalyst, but we'll keep it on watch here. Then CRISPR, you're going to start getting into a similar situation with CRISPR. You're getting further away from the catalyst. Like how long, how many days in a row can this keep going up? But we predicted this perfectly for a couple of days since the FDA approval. It hit like pretty much most of their price objectives. The last one here, we're looking at a $79 right there. You can see it at the 200-week moving average. Now we have December 8th as the next catalyst. So I think it needs a breather. This is just a gut. I think after hitting so many of these price objectives, and we're still a few weeks away from December 8th, I think it needs a breather, and it's got plenty of time to consolidate, make a pullback, and then do a FOMO run towards 79 before the December 8th FDA PDUFA date. Okay, so we'll watch it, but as of now, I don't think there's going to be a top pick. 72 key level though, 70, and it's below it right now. Okay, 72, which was the prior high, and also 70 we noticed yesterday key level. So 70 and 72 are key support levels on this thing. If you break below those, you can get a deeper consolidation, deeper pullback. Because again, I want to remind you, we have plenty of time till December 8th for this to pull back and then make a move back towards 79. But we're going to be watching this in case, because the news is huge. So in case it does break over 72, hold 72, then again, that 79 area is going to be in play. But it looks like actually there's a little bit of resistance at 75 first. Yeah. 75, yeah. A little bit 75 and then 79. Wait a second. Didn't it hit 76 yesterday? Yeah, so maybe 76 and 79. Okay. So, all right, that's with CRISPR. So we're getting a little further away from the catalyst on AMAT and CRISPR. Maybe not going to be today, but we'll watch them. Then we have Celsius, which made a move towards the 20 DMA yesterday. We saw that kind of bottoming out yesterday. We gave that alert, 20 DMA at 54.30. I'm sorry, 54.62. Got awfully close. Didn't quite make it there. So at some point, Celsius is going to have to find a bottom and explode and move above that 50 DMA. I don't have any particular catalyst today to tell you that's going to happen today, but the catalyst is really the fundamentals. This thing's really cheap. I think we had a large shareholder who passed away, and his estate is selling. That's the speculation. So once it's done selling, this is going to find its footing, just like SMCI. Remember, this is by the way, the price action between Celsius and SMCI, very, very similar. Also, very similar stories in terms of valuation. Now, I know the valuation looks expensive on Celsius, much more expensive on Celsius than it does on SMCI. See, the 4 PE is 17 on SMCI, and it's much higher on Celsius. Or is it on Celsius? 113. But the growth rate at Celsius is much, much higher. It is at SMCI. So in any case, I think the valuation is actually justified, and it's a fair valuation on Celsius. I think it's even cheap given their growth rate. But in any case, Celsius and SMCI, very similar stocks. They both did very similar things after the earnings. Okay, they pulled back sharply. You can see here's that earnings report over here, the one I'm talking about. Pulled back sharply, and then even before that next earnings report, made it all the way back into that gap to 315, which is where the target is now. Actually, we told you 298 was the resistance. After 298, 310 to 315 the target. It almost got there yesterday. All right, almost got to it got to 305. So technically, 310 to 315 the target. And then if it breaks 315, then you go all the way into the scap, into the 330s. But guess what? We're not breaking 310 to 315 today, at least not in regular hours, because we have NVIDIA earnings after hours. Okay, and this is going to react to NVIDIA earnings. If NVIDIA has a nice beat, I think you can see SMCI gapping above this 315, 316 resistance and aftermarket. And then tomorrow, you can maybe see SMCI making a run towards this gap fill in the 330s area, 330s or 340. So SMCI on high watch has NVIDIA doing. I think you could see it make a move to 310, 315 today, possibly. Maybe it'll trade with NVIDIA. So kind of risky to do this today. I own SMCI long term, but something to watch in after hours. If NVIDIA beats, I really think you're going to see SMCI quickly gap above that resistance level of 315 and then run. So that's the story there. All right. Tesla, man, what was the news I saw about Tesla? Something with India, some sort of partnership with India. I'm not going to get into that now. And Bitcoin, a little bit of a disappointing drop here. But if we go to the daily chart, everything still looks good above that 20-day moving average on Bitcoin here. So that's still looking good. I'm looking for a break of 38,000 and then a move towards 50,000 after that. So we got to really break out of 38,000. So watch that for a break of 38,000. All right. Uber, DraftKings, Palantir hitting all-time highs, not all-time, 52-week highs recently. All really solid companies. I think Palantir is the most expensive out of them, though, valuation-wise. All right. So where's that leave us? Let's quickly look at Argentina. ARGT, we talked about all these Argentina stocks yesterday, and actually our prediction came true. Most of these had open green candles, even with the big gaps. Most of them were worth buying right at the open, and you could see continuation. As we talked about yesterday, we think that, you look back on this in a few months and you'll see today as an inflection point because we're turning a socialist country, at least we're trying to, into a capitalist country. And that's obviously good for the economy, good for stocks. So that's why you saw the big moves yesterday. And ARGT is the ETF in Argentina if you wish to invest in that long term. But now we're one day removed from the catalyst. So I'm not going to make any of those top focus. top picks for today. So now we go back to our list here. So what's our focus going to be? Oh, by the way, I promised someone, if you have, it's a 9:25 already. If there's any stocks you want to cover, put them in the chat. In the video, if you click on it from our app, it goes to YouTube, and then you'll see a chat. If you can't find that, I also said I'll monitor this VIP chat room. Here we go. Okay, so in case you can't find that chat, if it's too cumbersome for you, you can just type here in the VIP chat room, and we can cover stuff in the morning. All right, and now what we got to do is, as we get prepared for the open, we're going to have to say goodbye to Twitter. Got your little free preview here, and we're going to stay online till 10 a.m. And what's tomorrow? Tomorrow's Wednesday, so we're not going to be doing the show Thursday or Friday. Thursday's Thanksgiving. Friday's a half day. I'll be around. I'll be working. I can do a video show because I'll be traveling, so I'll just be on chat with the top picks on chat Friday morning. But if you want to be part of this every day, head on over right now to storytrading.com/app and download our app. And for the rest of you, stay on here right now. And we'll continue. Okay, great. So gave Twitter folks a little free preview of that. Now, also, please, guys, we need your support. Follow us on Twitter. Just go to twitter.com/storytrading. Like, retweet, comment, because if we don't grow this, I'm not going to be able to continue this. All right. So appreciate your support there. So now we're looking at our top picks here. ANF keeps going up, now only down 2%. So it looks like we had the right idea. Going to pat myself on the back a little bit here. Just even in the pre-market hours, that ended up being the best one. If you took any other of these earnings reports, you would have had a tough time. Dick's starting to move up over here. But yeah, it depended on your entry. So really, we nailed, out of all the earnings reports, I think we got the best one so far. ANF coming back. So I'm kind of thinking that I forgot to talk about gold. It's just that gold is so hard to predict. I'll just note the pre-market action in gold. Really good. Wow, 185.60. Let me just see if there's going back above the 20 DMA. I own gold. I own some gold because of the geopolitical stuff going on, and now rates are going down, but I don't know about making a prediction for today without a strong catalyst. Okay, so I think the top focus here is going to be ANF, DIX, Enphase, and we talk about Enphase has to break 98.78. Okay, in fact, let me put this over here on my desktop so I can monitor that closer. So Enphase, cool, because it could do it, right? It's at 98.10 by 98.67 right now. Okay, and then Applied Materials and CRISPR, but kind of lower. Like, I wouldn't jump on these just because I said these could use a breather. Honestly, out of the two, I'd probably, if I had to guess, I'd probably say even maybe AMAT has a better chance of hitting 154 today than CRISPR does of hitting like 76. It's just CRISPR's kind of extended, I think, needs a breather. But in any case, so what are we looking at? We forgot, did we talk about Celsius? Yeah, Celsius, we really need to first break the 20. If we break the 20, then maybe we can make a move to the 50, 56.49. I think we just take that in stepwise fashion. And if you break the 50, then you look at the top of these candles. All right. So we just look at those resistance levels. But yeah, my bias here at 9:28 a.m. this morning is that the top three most likely to do well is going to be ANF, DIX, and Enphase. So DIX, as we said, a little bit harder, with this big gap up. Let's actually write down these levels we talked about. So it was 126.21, then 128. So now we're 129. So if you're looking for pullbacks on DIX, maybe 128 and then 126.33 would be areas that could be interesting with and then what do you do? What's your upside? We're 929. Okay. And yeah, can it get to the 130s? Something like that up there at 140. Maybe, probably not today. Okay, but we're going to watch DIX. So ANF, DIX, Enphase looks pretty interesting again if we break 98.78. All right, here's the open. And okay, DIX. DIX is moving here. Let's see. 132. So pre-market high. That's the level to look at. 132.09. If we can break 132.09, that's going to be pretty bullish for DIX. Highly shorted. Big short position on DIX. 132.09. Something to keep in mind over there. Remember, we're not making quick judgments on this. The first few minutes could be a little misleading. All right, we're going to have some patience, observe the price action, and then between 9:45 and 10, we'll maybe make some adjustments in terms of our top picks. What's this comment? Hey, good morning, Vince. Okay, ANF. Oh wow, DIX broke that 132.89 pre-market high. Wow. So DIX, looks like DIX may be in play. Opportunities in DIX. That big short position. All right. ANF pulled back a little bit. N phase. No, N phase 98.78, not getting there. All right, we're getting those pullbacks in AMAT and CRISPR, which I'm not surprised about. Gold doing pretty well. At SMCI, we're going to wait for NVIDIA earnings. Lilly, we're going to pay attention to Lilly. Not much really working here except DIX. DIX, gold, and Lilly are green. Keep in mind now, if we pull back, then you can look for support levels like CRISPR 70. That's a key level in CRISPR. We're at 70.72 now. So let me just put. I like the percentage better there. All right, DIX pulling back now. All right, now let's see if we can find support for DIX. So it proved itself that there's some excitement there in the first few minutes. Now maybe we can find support. What was it? 128 was one of the levels I talked about, right? 128 and then 126 were the two support levels. Wow, look at that. It hit 128 to the penny. Whoa. Okay, I think I'm seeing something here, right? Because these numbers are working to the penny. 128 was that level we found on the chart. Bounced off it to the penny. I'm starting to think DIX is going to be something that could be tradable today on dips. So let me just move this to the top. Wow, to the penny. Was it really? Yeah, 128. Oh my gosh. Let's see. Let's hope that 128 now holds. End phase still in play. Didn't do it yet, but it's close. Could do it at any moment. End phase. DIX holding that 128 pretty well. Oh, all right. Hold on. I got to put up level 2 on my desktop on DIX. 128. Okay. So you got support at 128 on DIX. Celsius trying to flip green. What do we say on Celsius? We said we're going to take this step by step. So 20 DMA. If it breaks 54.48 on Celsius, then you can maybe look at a move towards 56 or so on Celsius. All right, what's going on with the ANF? ANF, we got to start looking at pre-market lows here. And also on the daily chart to see where support is. So 67.10. What was it? 68? I think there was a big support at 68, if I'm not mistaken. Oh no. No, that was Dix. I'm talking about 120. Okay, no, here we go. It was the 20 DMA that we're looking at. 65.75. So the pre-market low is going to be a support level 67.10. So 67.10 and then 65.76. Those are your levels. I think those could be interesting to buy on ANF if it gets there. And Dix holding that 128. Now Celsius, we got to move this up because it looks like it wants to challenge that 20-day moving average. So let's move this in here. So, all right, Dix looking good, and Celsius 20-day moving average at 54.50. All right, let me put my level 2 up on that. All right, it's right there, 54.50 right now. It's broke above it, but the bid is still below 54.50, 54.52, 54.57. All right, so it's right around there. So Celsius is in play today. All right, it's green on what looks like a red day. It looks like it may have found its bottom. So Celsius is something that if this can hold here, this 54.50 level, then we can move up another couple bucks. As you see Dix working off that 128 support. So now we're starting to see this come together. We're starting to see. Yeah, I agree with you, Vince. And I feel like I've seen so many times too that a peak on right before Thanksgiving. I've remembered so many Black Fridays, that have been pretty horrific because we've had this rally into Thanksgiving. So I do also expect some pullback and consolidation, and that maybe AMAT and CRISPR need a consolidation period. All right, so Dix looking good off that 128 level. Celsius in play. All right, now let's start looking at upside on Dix. It hit 133.82. Wow. All right, 132 was the pre-market high, so that's still a line in the sand you got to think about, and then 133.82 after that. But man, if you bought that 128 support, you're up $3. So that's looking good. Nice job, Vince, picking up Dix at 128.50. All right. ANF. Let's see if we can find the support here. 67.10. Where are we at now? Melly. Oh, Melly's moving up. I got to look at those Argentina stocks. Let's take a peek at the Argentina stocks. Ha! Melly up 0.5%. Everything else is down. So yeah, underperformed yesterday. I guess it took a day for the big money folks to. Although retail's not interested in a stock that's $1,500. So maybe taking institutions some time to sit down and have a chat yesterday and get to work today and decide to buy Melly. That could be why we're seeing this price action of Melly underperforming yesterday and now it's catching up. 14.92. Wow. All right. So let's see. We're gonna keep a closer eye on Melly as well. All right. Celsius holding steady there. That 20 DMA at 54.50. Melly, let's take. I had a feeling this could happen with Melly. Let's see, 14.92. It already beat 14.92. Palantir, another 52-week high. Man, I got snickered out of that in my IRA. I just always thought it was too expensive. It's probably the most expensive from multiple perspective AI stock out there. All right. So I don't know. About Melly. Let's we got to focus on these other ones, but we're going to top picks, edit Melly down here so we can monitor it. Okay, end phase, we're waiting for that potential break. Oh, CRISPR broke 70, so that's not good. Actually, I added more at 70 yesterday in my long-term account. So this could have... I don't know. It's just not at state. It needs. I don't know how long the consolidation is going to last on CRISPR. Wow, look at Melly. All right, it's 9:39. 9:39. So things can still change. Another 10 minutes or so, and we can start getting a feel for things. Lily looks like it's moving. Let's take a look at Lily. 600, 605. Lily looks great from a longer term perspective. Look at this higher low here on the daily candles above the 20 DMA. I'm not changing my stance from a intermediate perspective. 628 new all-time high I think is coming for Lily. I just don't know that's happening today. No particular catalyst today. I'm going to move Lily at the top so you can keep a closer eye on it. Celsius. Okay. I think I'm getting the feeling that Celsius now clearly above. Now I'm seeing it for the first time today. That's clearly above the 20 DMA. The bid is now clearly above that 54.50 level. It's above that pre-market high. Okay, so now Celsius, you go to the daily chart on Celsius, you can see it now clearly on the chart. We're above the 20 DMA. So I got to say now, Celsius 56.24 is in play on Celsius. Okay, we're moving that into the top pick. Into a top pick. I'm going to say it's number one yet, but 56.24, that's the target on Celsius. Looking good right now, above that 20 DMA. ANF been disappointing. Oh, and even broke the pre-market low. So if you're watching that pre-market low number, the next support here, I'd probably stay away from this until if it hits the 20 DMA there at 65.72. It looks like, is that what it is? Yeah, 65.72. Market low goes back above that pre-market low, then it's in play. Melly, man, should have had more focus on Melly. I really had a feeling that it would take time for the money to go after this big market cap stock with a high dollar. There's like no retail wanting to buy $1,500 stock. Look at this go. So now we're above 1,500. Let me go to the weekly. See these support candles. It's above those. Man, this chart's kind of sloppy though. I don't know what to make of it. Monthly candles are a little bit better. I don't know. Don't know what to tell you on Melly. It's just like, hey, from a long-term perspective, great. From a daily, intraday, got no idea. Yeah, ANF. It's got to reclaim that pre-market low. Hasn't done it yet. Oh, it's right on it, I guess. What was it, 67.10? So maybe something there, but I think DIX and Celsius looking a lot easier than ANF at this point. (9:43 a.m.) So we're starting to get the picture. We're starting to get this picture here. Yeah. Looks like it's DIX and Celsius so far here for the last 10 minutes. It's 9:43. Thing with Baba, I'll look at Baba, but it didn't pop. I don't have any catalyst for it. You know, I don't like to do pure technicals. I guess the catalyst would be a sympathy with the good Baidu earnings, I guess. And maybe a reversal off of good earnings. I didn't follow this closely. If the earnings were really good, you know, then you can have another pillar. You can say fundamentally this is really cheap. The earnings beat, but it went down for some reason, found the bottom. Like that could be a thesis, Vince, and that would be great. I just didn't look at the Baba earnings, so I'm not going to have that kind of conviction. And look at DIX. I'm glad we changed things around and we switched from ANF as a top position there to DIX. We saw that relative strength pretty early here this morning. So glad we made that switch early. So 128. What was the pre-market high there? A pre-market high was like this, like right there. We're on it. Now we broke that previous pre-market high. This is beautiful. All right. And then you have the high of day of 133.82 is obviously going to be a resistance. But right here around 132, a little bit of a resistance level too. Pre-market high. 128 support. 132, a little bit of resistance here. So if you got in at 128, then maybe a spot to take a little bit off the table, but we'll see if we break that 132, you can make it the high of day. Celsius holding its own here. But it's 9:45 a.m. I'd like to see Celsius is having now a little trouble with that 20 DMA. I'd like to stay above that 20 DMA. It's battling it right now. And end phase not making any moves on that key level today, 98.78. So Dix, Celsius, still 1 and 2. It's 9:45 a.m. It's been at least 10, 12 minutes. We've made this change, and we have Dix and Celsius as 1 and 2. I like that stability. That's also something to look at. Like, we like switching things every 2 seconds, or is there like stability in the price action that's keeping those 1 and 2 positions? That's telling. So it's telling that we're keeping Dix and Celsius up there in the 1 and 2 position here for the better part of 12 minutes as we approach 10 a.m. But I'm putting Dix. Dix is definitely doing better than Celsius, though. Better price action. Celsius, a little bit of problem with that 20 DMA. End phase, forget about it. Good thing we stayed away from AMAT and CRISPR. Gold, it's just, I don't know how to trade gold without a catalyst and without a bias. It's just all technicals, and it's pretty freaking volatile. So, but if you think you're a good gold trader, here, 186.36, I'll tell you that. If we break 186.36, yeah, that's important. I'm willing to go there. I'm willing to say that. If gold breaks 186.36, boom. Wow, that's actually a big move in gold today. I didn't realize in like one day. Okay, so 186.36. That's a key level on gold. You break gold, you break that, and you could start heading towards the 190s. 186. Okay, I got to move gold up because that's a clear level on gold. Okay, 186.36. So let's just edit that, put that. Let's put that in the number 3 position for now. Dix, Celsius, and gold, 186.36. I didn't realize that it was that close to breaking that resistance level. Wow. All right, so now we got 3 things to watch. Dix, Celsius. Come on, Celsius. It's 9:48. And a lot of chop now. Holding this line right here. That's the 200 moving average on the 1 minute. Got to hold that. It's having trouble with that. And then you can get to the 250 at 53.83. Got to have a line in the sand somewhere. Don't know where that is. 53.83. Maybe we're 53.85. And then the pre-market low, forget the 52.29, the pre-market low of 53.32. Maybe that's your line in the sand, is that pre-market low. Let's see if it can bounce off this 50. Maybe line in the sand over there at 53.32. And then hopefully we can battle that 20 DMA again. So Celsius given some problems. Dix still looking great. Looks like Dix is staying in the number 1 position here. So I have gold as number 3, but we got to break that 186, 186.36. Let me write it down. Gold, 186.36. The only thing that's really been working is Dix. And pat on the back that I moved it to that number 1 spot like 15 minutes ago and called that 128 bottom. All right. So you got some levels here to think about. 130.67, that 20 MA. Then you have 132, very key level. That was a pre-market high. And then 133.82. Those are the levels to think about there. And then let me just move to the daily chart. And the daily chart, if you break that high, I don't know, man. My bias is it's not going to do that. My bias is it's not going to break that high of this morning and run into this 140 area because they did not increase their guidance really. They beat by 16%. So okay, we're up 11%, but they really didn't increase their guidance. So I mean, this is a nice little $4 move up of 128. And maybe you can be trading the chop all day on this thing at these support levels. At the 20, you can maybe buy there. If it goes to the 50, maybe buy there. Jumps up a buck or two, sell it. Like I think this is your playground. This is my fundamental bias coming in right now. I think your playground is 129 to that 130. Let's go 133. And it's dropping, as I say that, it's dropping below 20 right now. So 129 to 133. I think this is a volatile stock today. I'm not going to predict a breakout because I didn't like the fact they didn't raise their guidance, or they did, but they didn't, right? Which we talked about. Gold looks like it's a high day. Now it's at 186. Wow. One thing to also look at potentially with gold is metals and mining companies. See if anything's lagging. You can see, let's move up gold to the top. Silver, gold. So TGB's copper. JNUG is a ETF. NUGT, these are all ETFs, leveraged ETFs. GDXU, GDX. Oh, I don't have any individual gold mining companies here. It's just the ETFs. Okay. All right, let's go back. Gold, 186.36, almost. Enphase, not happening today. ANF, that kind of looks like it's failed. So it's coming up towards, and DIX is still the only one that's kind of holding its own here. But we'll see if I'm right at the end of the day. I just think this is going to be range bound between these levels. Okay, so 129 to 133. It's a chop fest. That's my prediction on DIX. Let's leave it at that. And a Celsius, see that it's back below the 20. Doesn't look good when it's below the 20. I don't like that look. Let's go to the weekly. 55.82. So Celsius being a little bit difficult, and gold, intriguing. When I see 186, I'm just telling you from a psychological perspective, I'm looking at 186. I know 186.36 is the breakout level. We'll see what happens, but I think that's enough to test it at least. I think traders, because what's 36 cents? You already got to the whole number. What's another 30? Like if you're that close, it's a magnet. That's what I'm saying. It's a magnet. Here we go, 186.05. So at this point, I think you're going to be, there it is, 186.07, 186.08. Okay, at this point, I think it's inevitable that you're going to be testing 186.36. Okay. Now, this is not the gold futures market where I think most of the money is. This is an ETF, GLD. So it's possible the picture looks a little bit different where the real money's trading in the gold futures market. I don't know how much volume. See, 1.22 million. I don't know to what extent volume coming into this ETF will impact the futures market. I don't know that. That's a possibility that happens. But yeah, I'm going to still stick with this idea that once you're at 186, you're going to be testing 186.36. And if you break it, make sure it holds on a pullback, and then you can go to 190 plus. I'm not saying today, but in the swing time frame. When I talk about swing, I'm talking about days to weeks. All right, 9:54, 9:55 a.m. I'm going to try to lock stuff in soon with the ideas for the rest of the day. So ANF, let's see if there's any point in continuing to look at ANF for the rest of the day. I don't like that it's below this pre-market. Well, it's around there. It's pre-market. I guess the 20 DMA. Watch that 20 DMA. If you get to the 20 DMA on ANF 65.72, that could be a good entry. Yeah, I'm cool saying that. So that's ANF. All right, I got to move gold up a spot above Celsius. Let me just quickly look at Argentina. Okay. How's crypto doing? Bitcoin's pulling. I'm disappointed in Bitcoin. I really thought. Oh, it's okay. But the 20 is at 36,419. So let's see if that 36,419 can hold on Bitcoin, and then we can hopefully get back above 38,000. See that. All right. So man, everything's down. Tesla on the Indian news. Above the Tesla's above the 50-day moving average of 238.75, although it did that the other day. So 246.70, that's a key level on Tesla. Did it ever 242.02? Is it? Okay, 242.02 is a key level, but it did break it and pull back from it. I don't know. I don't have time to look into this. If is this up because of that India news? It's not even the news feed. I must have seen it on Twitter. So I'm going to move Tesla up. I'm going to edit this. Put Tesla down here to monitor. Okay. Man. Wow, Melly hit 1,500. Okay. All right. So, Dix, gold, Tesla over this 50. So you could see 240. Wow, hit 246 the other day. Let me zoom into this. 242. Here we go. Now, big spike in Tesla. Yeah, if anyone wants to look, are there fundamentals behind this? Is it reacting to India? If it is, that can give me more confidence that we're going to, if that's the chatter on social media and people are excited about that, I like that catalyst. India is huge. So 246.70 maybe in play on Tesla. All right. So now it's a tough day. And I'm not sure we're going to leave you with, hey, this stock's going to go up the rest of the day kind of situation. I don't see that. What we've done is change the focus to some stocks that have better relative strength that maybe can hold up better the rest of the day, right? But like Dix, for example, I just don't, to me at least at this point, unless it breaks that high of this morning at 133.82, I don't think I can leave you here at 10 a.m. and say, oh, Dix is, destined to go up the rest of the day, which is, you see that sometimes by 10 a.m. and it becomes pretty clear. Dix, I think, definitely the strongest of the bunch we're looking at, and you see it's above this 20. But as I said, because of the fundamentals and the lack of raising the guidance in a real way rather than a superficial way, makes this more of a choppy play. And man, it's Tesla at 10 a.m. seeing this late. I'm glad I mentioned the Indian news this morning, but is Tesla going to end up being the winner? Something to think about. Let's see if we want to make any last minute changes here. Gold, Celsius kind of hiding its own. ANF below 67. So yeah, I'm glad we pulled that all the way down. So at this point, at 10 a.m., we're just going to give you a modified top focus list, but it's unfortunately not as clear as the last couple days, right? Where we saw that AMAT and CRISPR just be really clear and show us that good price action that you could just ride it the rest of the day. I don't think we have that clarity here today. So instead, we're going to leave you with 1, 2, 3, 4 stocks. 4 stocks that could do good today, could do better than the rest of the market today. And that's Dix, Gold, Celsius, and Tesla. Okay. And maybe not even in that order. I'm just looking at Tesla. I'm just thinking Tesla maybe should be moved up. But 4 is good. We're getting a top 4 focus. All right. Top 4 focus there, just scrolling down, and just keep in mind Enphase in case it does break 98.78. That's still possible. Okay, it's at 98.38. I'm going to just move it up so we can monitor it closer. So keep that in mind on Enphase, 98.78. That's only 60 cents away. But we're going to leave you with Dix, Gold, a retest of that 186.36 level. If it breaks that, look for support and then watch out, 190s plus. Celsius, it's trying, holding its own, so we're leaving it there. Vacillating here at 54.50, trying to break that 20 and then make a move towards 56 at the 50, so that's in play. And Tesla appears to be in play. I didn't really give you a lot of focus on the chart on Tesla. It's just kind of last minute here, but you can do your own analysis on this. But up 3%. Indian news, I think this could end up being in play. Look at Enphase, 98.50. Enphase near the high of the day, 98.57. What do you say, 98.78? Let's just look at how this is starting to look. Now it's green, 98.64. Okay, wow. 98.70. See, it gets beautiful on the chart. See, if you break this 98, what did I say? Did I say 98.78? Where did I get that number from? Was it yesterday's high? Oh, it was yesterday's high. Okay. And I think we just did it. We just broke yesterday's high on Enphase. Okay, guys. Enphase could be in play to that gap fill of 103.98. All right, Enphase 103.98 could be in play, and it could be in play possibly today. All right, so Enphase is in the top 5 now. Tesla, all right, starting to come together. So now we got 5 picks. Now we got 5, and I think we can leave it there. That's a nice 5 stocks to choose from and try to trade the rest of the day. Enphase finally came through for us. Level we're looking at, and by the way, I think that if it pulls back at this point, this is just my opinion, but I think you can buy the dips on Enphase. It's already proved that it can break yesterday's high and it can break the high from a few days ago. So now look for support levels if you're day trading this. I think it already proved that. But again, I speak from a swing perspective. Days to weeks, right? That gap is going to fill. To me, this gap is definitely going to fill at this point. It's just a matter of when. So 103.98, you're definitely going to test 103.98. Is going to be today, is going to be tomorrow, is going to be Friday. That I can't tell you for sure. All right, I can just tell you it seems very often that these targets hit the same day when we do our analyses, but that's I don't know. I don't know why that happens. It just seems to happen pretty often. Okay. So it's 10:04. I'm running a little bit late, but we're going to keep these 5. Wow, look at Tesla. Tesla looking good here. Is that the high of the day? Near the high of the day. So Tesla, Enphase, Celsius, still all looking good. I'm wondering if I should move Tesla and Enphase above Dix, since I just think Dix is going to chop and not really break out. So DIX is strong. It looks good, but I think it's a chopper rather than break 133 and fly to the 140s. Whereas Enphase, if you get back above that level, wow, look at Tesla. And Tesla too, because it's already above this 50 DMA, and then you get 246. So I'm thinking maybe I should be putting Tesla and Enphase. I think I might do that. I feel bad doing it since I didn't talk Tesla. I didn't talk about Tesla in the pre-market. I mean, I did, but just briefly on the Indian news. I didn't really make it a focus. So it's hard for me to switch. It's hard for me to switch, but I think I'm going to do that. I think we're going to move Tesla up. We're going to actually, before we move Enphase up there, I just remembered that I need to look at TAN. Okay. Need to look at TAN and similar chart, actually. Okay. Nothing crazy to invalidate that thesis. All right, look, these are the top 5 for today. I'm not sure. I'm having trouble ordering exactly, and I guess you can't, right? That's probably too much to ask of me anyway. But Tesla, Celsius, DIX, Gold, Enphase, I think those are the top 5. Those are going to be your top focus for the rest of the day. It's 10 a.m. So at this point, I think it becomes kind of clear where the money's going. It's in those. That's where it's going. Tesla, Celsius, DIX. Gold didn't break that 186.36, but let's watch for that. At least a retest of 186.36. Enphase. And Enphase is so choppy. I hate it when that happens. But I'm leaving Enphase up here in the top 5. Tesla looking great. Okay. Gonna leave you there. Vince says Tesla volume weighted average price breakout, VWAP breakout coming. Yeah, Tesla's looking good. Actually, you know what? I've never charted VWAP. I've never done that. I'm not even sure where to get it. Where would I get that? Where would I get VWAP in here? Let me see if I can get VWAP. Where are my settings? Chart, RSI, VWAP. Okay. VWAP, where is it? I don't see the VWAP. Where'd it go? Did I do that right? Oh, with VWAP. What happened? Okay. Let's get rid of VWAP. Can I only do one? I have no idea what's going on. I don't know. I don't have any experience with VWAP, and apparently I don't even know how to bring it up on here. It's not working. I don't know why. Okay, but anyway. Tesla, Celsius, DIX, the chop. It's a chop trade. Gold, looking for that 186.36 level. Enphase. I hate it when it does that, but I guess I'm going to stick with it. I'm going to stick with my analysis, even though it's hard through the chop. I'm going to stick with the fact that it broke yesterday's high, so we can see 103.98 in a swing time frame. Today, tomorrow, Friday, early next week, something like that. And that's it. I just wish I could leave you with a little bit better. Today is definitely harder than it was Monday, Friday, and Thursday. Had 3 really good days. Market's been really good for 3 days. At least the stocks we've been in. Today's a little bit harder. And just waiting. It's 10:10. I'm just waiting for something to really show itself. And I'm afraid I'm just gonna have to say where this is our focus list, but it's not like it's not like a CRISPR AMAT day where it was just super clear. It's not. But Tesla, Celsius, Dix, Gold, and Phase. That's what I'm gonna leave you with. Okay. I hope one of those really breaks out today. Good luck. Thanks for joining. You posted a chart on VIP. I guess not our app. The other one here. Let's see. All right. Yeah. Oh, look, I'm with you on. Glad you're with me on Celsius. Looks like you're with me on Tesla. VWAP breakout. All right. Let's see what this looks like. VWAP breakout. Zooming into this. Which one's the VWAP line? I've never done VWAP. I've heard a lot about it, but I'm pretty comfortable with my own technicals. I've been there. There it is. Okay, it looks like it's this 243.60. Is that top line? It looks like 243.60, something like that. All right. Anyway, thanks, Vince. Let's see if we can make something work out of these 5 today. All right. Thanks for joining. I'll see you guys tomorrow morning. Take care.